let's get into the big topic of open source, something that we actually say at Red Hat.
This is so awesome.
We are an open culture that believes
actually
in importance of
what
is that process that a developer, or let's say
as the Kubernetes ecosystem really boomed.
Hey, I'm going to steal the Chris Short intro and say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We are live with GitOps Guide to the Galaxy, episode 38, which is it's my fourth or fifth one here, right, Christian?
I think it feels like you've always been around. So it's probably the fourth one, I would say, officially.
So,
but it feels
yeah.
it only feels that way because like we've just been friends for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for those watching, we have a background. So we worked together in the past, we became friends, now she's here. But yeah, I think it feels that way because I just always known you.
Yeah, I know it's been forever. So yeah, and speaking of it being forever and being friends, right? We also have done all these joint talks together, right? We did the Helmet Back Again talk for DevConf, and we just got back from KubeCon where we spoke at GitOpsCon, and I see you've got your shirt.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah, I got my shirt for it. GitOpsCon, KubeCon. We were there in Valencia. I met a few of you. It was actually pretty cool. I don't know about you, Hillary, but like people would come up to me as like, "Hey, I seen your YouTube stream." So it felt kind of weird to be kind of a Z or a Y level celebrity. I don't know what you would call it.
That did not happen to me. That one person came up and was like, "Hey, it's me from the stream." Like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy to see you in person!" Like that happened to me one time. I guess I'm not very popular yet. Not
yet. You'll get there. It's especially since the talk we did. So it was we got a lot of good one-liners. It was we were conference buddies, right? But like we kind of separated and then we kind of hung out, we kind of separated. So I'm curious to what was it your first KubeCon?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your impression of KubeCon?
So let's see. I found that most of the talks I was most interested in, and this comes from being an SRE, right? This really comes from being an SRE. A lot of the talks I was most interested in, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to that one, were either one, virtual, I was like, dang it, or two, were given by other Red Hatters. And I was like, I did not fly all the way across the world to go watch talks from people I work with.
Yeah, coworkers, right? It's like, I'm
like, I will just email them for their slides later, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I ended up going just kind of browsing around, in and out of talks, in and out of the vendors hall. I got to meet a lot of people in person, both at Red Hat today and who have left Red Hat. And I ended up spending a lot of time at the booth answering some questions about OpenShift. And I will say that one thing that happened repeatedly was people were coming up to me, asking me where things were, like I would know. And I recognize that Red Hat is an executive like sponsor or whatever. Everything I don't, or diamond sponsor, I guess is the term.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't actually know how to find things. I literally have dyslexia. You should never count on me for directions or math. Like just
okay. So when you so when you say make a left, go right. So
I will do this.
Yeah.
I will do this and be like, which one is an L? It's that one.
Yeah, which one is the L? Yeah, I guess this one's left. Yeah. Unless you put your hands like this, then you're messed up at that point.
Then I'm really in trouble, yeah.
Then you're really in trouble. So what's really cool for me, it felt like it was coming back. So for those that have gone to KubeCon in the past, San Diego was insane. So you said this was your first like KubeCon in San Diego, which was the one before the pandemic. It was like shoulder to shoulder people. It was just nuts. It was just full. So compare that to like when it happened here in LA, where it was really, really small. It felt really weird because it was mostly vendors. So, cool. It was just mostly us walking from booth to booth, talking to each other. But this one was a little different. I felt that there was more end users there. So I had a lot of really great conversations. So for me, these conferences, as much as as much like we like submitting talks and as much as we like going to some of these talks, I'm really about the networking aspect. I'm a people person, love talking to people, love be like, oh, so what happened when you were down for 3 hours? And yeah, like, and what was, what was the postmortem like? And, like, I just love that conversation. Being part of, also about the GitOps Con was fantastic.
It was really a good con. Yeah.
It was great because I'm part of the planning committee, so I'm kind of tuning my own horn, or I guess our own horn here, of just like looking out and just seeing the sea of people. It was I felt a little sense of pride, right, being like, oh, all this planning and hard work that we did, all the CFPs I read, it was worth it because we had like 300-ish people there. We had 2 rooms, 2 tracks, and the second room was too small, I think, because there was people out in the hall. I remember during our talk. Oh, you're this side. I remember during our talk, we had to like sit in the hall for our turn because there were just so many. It was standing room only.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool for you to witness. I'm like, okay, cool. See, her first GitOps Con was an actual good one. It wasn't like the tiny room that we had in LA with like 60 people.
I mean, I will say, it was standing room only, right, in the room where we were speaking at the talk before ours, and rightly so. That was a very fascinating talk. I went back and watched the recording later. But like it emptied out. Like half of the people left for ours. I was like, I mean, I get it. There's probably things going on downstairs too.
Yeah. There was because there's that's another thing. It's hard to pick the track, right?
Yep.
Especially in KubeCon, you were joking that one of your talks is one side of the building and the other one was on the other side, and you had like, you're with your head up sprinting.
And there's like the third building. I never found it, by the way. I have no idea where you had to go outside. I never figured out where that was.
Yeah, there was that was the event in Valencia, right? The conference center in Valencia. There was like 3. It wasn't like a conference center. It was like the conference center had like 3 or 4 buildings or whatever, and trying to figure out upstairs, downstairs, in the other building, upstairs, downstairs in that building. There's a third building. No one knew where that was. I finally found the third building, so I did.
Oh, you did? I should have asked you.
Yeah. No, I did find it. It took a while, but yeah, I found the third building. So that was pretty cool. So anything else we haven't covered for GitOpsCon, KubeCon?
I think the CFPs for GitOpsCon, are they still open for Detroit, North America?
So, for KubeCon, KubeCon CFPs are still open up until Friday. So, for those who haven't submitted anything for KubeCon, it's still open. CFPs are still open. You have, a day and a couple hours left, I guess. So, so try to submit those. Those are, it's always cool to get accepted for KubeCon because it's so competitive. So, tomorrow. Someone said, William, in the chat said, to CFPs tomorrow. So they close tomorrow. So get those in. So those are. It's tough. I think I've only ever gotten 1 CFP for KubeCon accepted. So that's like my badge of honor. I'm like, oh, okay, I got one. Now
nice
for the rest. And I say for the rest of my career, I don't have to. I don't have to worry about getting in KubeCon. I at least got in once.
Yeah, people have asked me if I was submitting to that one, and I'm like, I am still tired from Valencia.
That's right.
I can't even think about that right now. I am submitting one to Ansible Fest though, which will be in Chicago later this year.
Oh, awesome, cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So yeah, all of these. There's so many. For the next. So our Hope 9 said for the next KubeCon they should have a kubectl describe venue.
Oh my
right?
God,
so
seriously.
Describe venue, and it kind of gives you a tree of.
I want an ASCII art of like a map.
Yeah, definitely an ASCII art of the map, or maybe like a UR here. That's useful. So that's something I noticed that they didn't have in the map. They gave you the map where everything was cool, but they didn't give you like on the wall. But they didn't give you a UR here. So there was 2 pavilions. And I was wandering around in one pavilion, not knowing that what I was looking for was in the other one. So that happened to me a lot. And so
Eventually,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
ones that
imagine
you
yeah.
said, yeah. I'd rather
Well,
not actually.
Yeah, I'd rather have overflow, right? You'd get a buffer overflow. You'd get some sort of memory issue there. So one thing I do, ArgoCon is still a thing. Those CFPs are closed. So we got 127 submissions. Speaking of conferences, so 127. Which now I'm already getting tired thinking about reviewing these because I had to do 80 for GitOps Con, but now for ArgoCon there's 127. That's a hybrid event. I put that in the chat. Here, I'll give it to producer Stephanie so she can maybe put it up here for those who are watching. So ArgoCon, this will be the first in-person event for ArgoCon. So that'll be exciting. This will be a hybrid event. So if you want to do virtual, you can do virtual for ArgoCon. So let me see here. What else? You were on on open Axo OpenShift admin, right? This was it this week or last week?
Yeah, it was this week. It was yesterday.
Yeah, so you, I heard you were quite popular on that, telling Andrew and Johnny that you'll replace them with a small shell script. What was the thing that came out of that? The one-liner?
I told I didn't say it in the stream. I told them this in chat afterwards. I told Johnny that I can write regex smarter than him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, regex is smart. Yeah, exactly. There, sorry. So like if you're talking Andrew said like ask an OpenShift admin is the best stream of them all. So that's yeah. So Hillary was so you were ruthless. I like the chat that's going on. So if you guys are on Twitch or on YouTube, check out the chat. There's some funny things going on there. And so Johnny said still hurts. He's like I think what you said also there was another thing that came like
he called me an alpha nerd. He said people who like Perl are alpha nerds, and since I love Perl, like I'm an alpha nerd, and I was like. I'm really not sure how I feel about that. My best friend pointed out, she goes, that just means they're beta nerds.
There you go. Yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
Perl. So if you're having to write Perl, my hat's off to you on that. Well, Perl, what's funny about Perl is that it works accidentally sometimes.
Yes.
Which, we're like, I don't know why that worked.
Almost all of those XKCD memes actually are about Perl, right? He was a Perl programmer. And so it's kind of like that meme about like, why does my code not work? Why does my code not work? And you dig into it, you're like, how did that ever work? To be honest, that is Perl. That is Perl.
Yeah, that is Perl.
That's why it's part of what I love about Perl. It's such a it's the programmer pleaser of languages. I heard somebody say Golang was that, and like I hard disagree. It's Perl. Because you can do anything with Perl, regardless of whether or not you should.
Yeah, exactly. Whether or not, right? It lets you shoot yourself in the foot. And
it really does.
And it's unapologetic about it, and it's like you can throw anything at it and it'll work. And
it'll do the thing.
And like you and like you said, you're like then you read it and you're like, I don't understand how this ever worked. Why? Like what is this? So Perl. William said Perl is the best way to appreciate any other scripting language. So so that was another one-liner. That's pretty that was pretty fun. I've been on that stream as well. That's always fun to go on with those guys. So Hillary, this is officially my last stream here with GitOps Guide to the Galaxy. So for those who haven't seen my Twitter post and my LinkedIn post here, I am I accepted an offer outside of Red Hat, so I'll still be in the GitOps space, so you'll still see me around. I begged and pleaded to have Hillary have me come back on as a guest, so she begrudgingly accepted to see for me to come back as a guest. But yeah, so today will be my last stream. It's been kind of So producer Stephanie, I like what she said. It's more of my last episode as a host because I will be coming on. I do have to, I guess, Postmate Hillary some coffee to bribe her to allow me to come back on. But it's been an absolute pleasure doing this stream, starting this stream from nothing, watching it grow, watching it evolve. It's been great. Really appreciate everyone who's liked, subscribe. I know Stephanie likes when I say that, so still like, still subscribe, because I will still be subscribing and I'll still be on, at least in the chat. So yeah, so it's been great. It's been great. I'll definitely see everyone around, and I leave you in good hands with Hillary, because it's
God, I hope so.
yeah, sort of stuff. Well, if you haven't seen her, so you come up with these great one-liners. If you guys haven't seen our talk on GitOps Con, we should probably get that link out, so they can watch it. And so you come up with like the best one-liner, I think, from that talk is like, you always said, choose your tech debt. Don't choose the best tool for the job, because you're gonna have tech debt. So choose your tech debt. And I think
choose the technical debt that you can pay. I actually put it on a t-shirt, right? Some people are like, I want that on a t-shirt. I actually put it on a t-shirt.
There you go. So then
I did the thing. I didn't actually do it. I told my husband, I'm like, man, that's like the fourth person who said I want that on a t-shirt. So he's like, here's your t-shirt store.
Here it is. Yeah.
So he actually, I won't plug that. That would be super inappropriate. It's more so a joke, so that you can see what it is on a t-shirt. Don't actually buy the t-shirt, folks.
Yeah.
But it's really
it's more of a joke.
It's a joke. Don't buy the t-shirt, please. So it's so it's on a t-shirt. Choose your technical debt wisely. And also SRE is not your sysadmin, right? These are the things that I say a lot now. They're one-liners that are out there on videos, so people realize I say them. But yeah, and Chris Short, he'd said to me, it's such a perfect thing, because I was literally just telling somebody that Conway's law always applies. And it's like those two statements, those two one-liners are very complementary. So I guess that's going to be your GitOps Con Detroit t-shirt, right?
Exactly. Choose your tech debt wisely. So yeah, this t-shirt actually was widely popular, and for those who attended, I apologize, I didn't order enough. I ordered 100 and there was 300 of you, so hopefully we'll get better shirts. And I think I'm going to use that quote on the back of this one, because this one says has my catchphrase, if it isn't in Git, it's only a rumor. And so maybe choose your tech debt wisely, or that's
gonna be my catchphrase. I'm gonna close the stream with that. Remember, choose your tech debt wisely.
There you go. So pretty cool. So I don't think there's anything else.
The Waldorf and Statler, sorry, honorary balcony. I actually started in that balcony, right?
Oh, Waldorf and Statler, that's right.
When you first started the stream, I was watching it, and I would give you grief about doing things like not updating your git ignore file.
Exactly.
So it's really my turn, honestly, for you to do that to me.
Yeah. So Waldorf and Statler. So and actually, and for Andrew who's watching right now, we kind of feel that way about a lot of things. So it's really an honorary balcony in the future. So I'll like that. I'll bring popcorn, and then I'll be the heckler now, and instead of the host. So I think today's topic is talking about Argo notifications. So I'll just share my screen here.
I hope you remembered to actually prepare the demo, because that was on you, not me.
Correct. That was on me, and I do have it-ish here. There we go, screen 3. I'll never remember how to share a screen. I think everyone always fumbles in sharing a screen, right? Everyone's like, how do I share my screen? And then it's, so there we go. So Argo CD notifications. So this is kind of, Argo CD notifications is essentially what it does, what the name implies. And so the idea being is that anytime something happens with Argo CD, it'll send you a notification somehow, right? Either via Slack ops, via like Slack or email, or whatever. It'll send you notifications based on certain things, right? So before getting into this, Argo notifications used to be like its own thing. Like you have to like install it as part of separately. but now it's included as part of Argo CD. So like if you install OpenShift GitOps or Argo CD now in any latest version, you'll get Argo CD notifications. So it's there for you to use right off the bat. So it does this, again in a few ways, sort of kind of like with everything in Kubernetes. I feel like it's a I was noodling about this the other day. It's like everything in Kubernetes just has to be like a series of like little things together, right? So just like anything in Kubernetes, like you need to like deploy like 5 or 6 CRDs or in CRs to get it to work. But the idea being that it's based on triggers and templates. So I think I'm going to start from the bottom up. First, talking about the notification services, right? So the notification services is like, okay, like what to do if where to notify, right? So like things like Slack, it has just straight up email, right? Mattermost, which is interesting. So you can tell some Europeans wrote that because he has the Mattermost. Telegram, you can hit a webhook. I think webhook's a generic way of there's Teams integration, right? So I'm pretty sure, send something to Grafana. So there's certain integrations, and actually, so for those, let me put this in chat actually. So put here the Slack integration here, and it's essentially I followed this like blindly, and it works. So I mean, so this is kind of like a very explain to me like on 5 direction. So whoever wrote this, so I'm always lamenting about Argo CD notifications. Argo CD documentations just in general, just because to put it nicely, you can tell an engineer wrote it. Usually. So when something's good, I'm like pleasantly surprised. So I just kind of just followed this on the Slack, right? And then there is the trigger template, right? So triggers and templates, and then the triggers is basically like what triggers a notification, right? So like when something's created, it'll send something. When something's deleted, something's deployed, when the health is degraded, right? So I think most people would want like on sync, like the bad things, right? I think, but also like I guess you would normally, I guess as an SRE, I guess I would ask you, Hillary, like you would want to know if something is created right on a cluster. I would think that you would want like that sort of notification. So it's not necessarily only bad things, I would imagine.
So yeah, it does depend a little bit on what it is. It's more so if we care, not necessarily if something's created, although we could. It depends on some of like the capacity things and so forth. But we would definitely care if something's deleted or changed, right?
I would think.
Or of course failures always, but yeah, something being created as well. It depends on the situation. Certainly, you potentially want to know that information. So there's a couple questions, or maybe the same question a couple times. I've lost track of who's doing the asking. Multiple people. Can it do PagerDuty?
PagerDuty. I don't think there's a PagerDuty integration, but there's email integration, and I'm pretty sure PagerDuty offers an email, from what I understand, right? Like an email address or something that you can send.
I think it also has a webhook.
PagerDuty has a webhook. Then you can. I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember. I think you and I have said this before. PagerDuty Architect should be a single, like that is somebody's job.
Yes.
And it should pay them very well.
Should pay them very well. Yes, exactly. I got into PagerDuty like right when they like first started, and I thought, man, this is great. This thing's gonna be big, and I guess it is. But yeah, so webhook. So there's no actual PagerDuty like integration. I'm pretty sure the webhook is a generic way of doing that.
That should work. You should be able to map it to services and have the services have the escalation policies, and the escalation policies page the people. And I'm telling you from an SRE perspective, if you send off my pager because something was created, I'm going to be big mad.
Yeah, I'll be really mad. Yeah.
I expect that to happen. Unless unless there's some really amazing use case you've come up with to track when something has been created that should never be created, and you want to wake up S3 for that, use your PagerDuty alerts wisely.
Yeah, it's just that's another thing on a shirt. Use your PagerDuty alert wisely. Don't cry wolf.
Don't cry wolf. We actually audit them in my team. We audit them and our alerts and our warnings twice a year.
Oh, there you go. We used to for alerts, we used to like flag bad apples. And so then if someone would fire off an alert and like if they cried wolf enough, we essentially they would fire off an alert and they would get like the notification that the alert was successfully fired, but like it didn't actually page anyone. So yes, you do don't cry wolf. Use your PagerDuty alerts wisely.
You're nicer than we are. We reroute them to engineering.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, you exceed the toil threshold, the alert threshold on your service. You actually start getting the pages yourself. Congrats, Eng.
Yes. You know what's funny? See, I just send them to dev null. See, you're actually that's like you said. I guess I'm a little nicer because that's a good idea though. I like that.
Yeah, we do. We actually it's in our agreements with our tenant engineering teams. Like if you're exceeding our toil thresholds, your service is not demonstrating to be resilient enough, you go back on the pager yourselves. And fortunately we've never had to do that, right? But that's also, like I said, as part of that SRE like contribution, right, in the life cycle. So something happens in production in a problem with the code operations, we feed that back into engineering and help them ensure that it gets fixed, right? Yeah. So that we're helping to push the continuous improvement of the product. So we've never actually had to do it. It's just like, and honestly, I don't even think we'd actually have to threaten these people, right? These are other Red Hatters that they desperately want their code to be awesome. Of course, but we do say it out there, like, just in case it wasn't clear, like we do say this.
Yeah. So let's see here. Templates, it's just basically what gets sent, right? So like message, hey, something has been created. This could be, as you notice, there's like you can get stuff from the payload, right? Like app metadata name has been deleted, right? So you can kind of grab some of it. It could get pretty complex, as you see here, right? You can like even do attachments, and it gets pretty robust. Where's the templates here? So the templates, that's I just went over there, and then the triggers. Yeah, so the triggers here is like when app status sync equals unknown, do this, right? It's basically pretty self-explanatory, except like it's all over the place. It's kind of like I said before, it's kind of like there's like rat droppings everywhere in Kubernetes. It's like, how do I change something? Well, you have to do it in 5 different places, which is why operators are important. So
that's why operators are important.
But you can write that into the operator. So I do have a Kubernetes cluster here. It's in Argo CD. Yeah. So let me clear this and then do Argo CD. So here they have a notification controller, and all the get. What is a config map? Hold on. I think it's a config map. Yeah. So there's a config map. This guy here called Argo CD notifications config map. And it's essentially, it comes already with like things already so this is like I didn't actually create this. This was created by the installation itself. So it already comes with like things that you can just use out of the box. You don't have, so like when I first started like researching this, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to write like all this stuff. It's not like it's hard, but it's just like I'm trying to like, okay, I just want like a simple demo to just see how it works. And but it already comes with things, so it's pretty cool when someone gives you something and then you just kind of modify it for your needs instead of starting from scratch.
That's my favorite thing. That's what's the saying? Good developers copy, great developers paste, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like why write something that's already been done, right? And
you just go copy that from Stack Overflow. You rename the variables so that they make sense with your application.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Save that. Right, whatever your save command is, Control S if you're in an IDE, escape :X if you're in Vim, and commit that. That's how all of us code, isn't it? Yeah, commit push. All of us code that way, right? It's not just me, right?
That's it's well, they do. There's an O'Reilly book, right? Let's see if I can find it. Copy and paste. Stacker Overflow O'Reilly. Yeah. So there's like
Yeah.
there's which is really funny. Copy and pasting from Stack Overflow. That it's essentially this like that. Everyone has this. All good coders have that in their drawer.
We've all done it.
So then you have that, right? So notifications. So then here I already set up the Slack secret. So if you go into the so first, where was I? Notifications. So first I did this, right? So like I said before, this was actually pretty easy to follow. Copy pasta, and then you have to create a secret with the Slack token, and this is what it looks like. I'm not going to show the Slack token because we're going to be using the Red Hat Slack channel that I created.
Shame on you.
So the Slack secret is staying secret, but trust me, it looks like this. It's just a regular token, like you think it would be. And then you do the actual. So then you have to add this. So I put a note here. It says, don't apply this, edit the config and add it manually. Because I overwrote the Argo notifications and like nothing was working. I'm like, why nothing was working? I'm like, oh, because I overwrote it. I didn't add it. I overwrote it. So yeah. So first let's create the secret. With this, basically create the token. And then, okay, apply Slack secret. In Argo CD. All right, so the secret's configured. So now we have to add this guy to the edit the notifications, and then basically you just put it in here like that. And so basically you're telling the configuration is like, hey, for the Slack service, use this token, and this token is in a secret because that's what the $ means in Argo land. So for those that don't know, I don't know if this is common from between different operators and how they do it, but at least for the Argo projects, if there's a $ in front of something, that's a flag to Argo to know to look for a secret. So
that is how it's done. And other operators can confirm.
Yep. So sometimes they do like, secret ref and they put the name of the secret, but I think since most people put things in config maps, this is like kind of like the practice there.
Yeah, it depends on the implementation. It depends on several other things. It depends on like where the secret comes from, if it's getting rotated through some automated process. So you're going to make decisions on your secret management. I think, was it Andrew Block, 101 ways to manage secrets? Right?
It's 100,000 ways.
100,000 ways to manage secrets, right? And he talked about a sidecar model. That's one I've also seen. So, but yes, a very common implementation in operator looks just like this.
Yep. And I'm actually being Game Bounty said it's common to use the $ to refer to secrets. So thank you for that. That's and I'm like I was saying, I was a bad citizen because I actually just loaded the secret in plain text into the Kubernetes cluster. Don't do this, please.
Go watch Andrew's talk.
Yeah, like Hillary said.
I'll go find it right now. Yeah, actually, I'll just do that.
Go watch Andrew, and then we did a past episode about secrets as well. So pretty sure to check that out. And then that's pretty much it. And so then when you create an application. So let's look at the application here for how you annotate your application to send these notifications, right? And so here I have notifications. It's an annotation basically saying, notification, I am going to subscribe to this notification. And anytime a sync happens, send a Slack to here. We're showing kind of my roots here. GitOps Happy Hour, which was the name of the show before we rebranded. That is the name of the Slack channel. So without the hash sign, without that, right? Like that would be in Slack, but obviously without, because it's a comment in in computer language. So that's why you leave it without the hash, and then just like the application the way it is, right? And so let's go to, so here I had some, have this happy hour channel here, and let's do a sleep 2, and then K apply of the welcome application. Right, and then here sync will start in Argo CD, and then it would send me a notification that the sync had happened, right? And so you see here, it says the application, whatever I named it, was successfully synced at this fun time here, computer time. And then it says here no value because I didn't set up a route for this instance of Argo. But you can actually see, it'll actually send you the link of where to see it, right? And this kind of gives you cool stats. This here, you can modify this. This is completely modifiable. Not sure, editable.
Mutable.
Good.
It's mutable.
It's mutable. There you go. I like that. It's mutable. This configuration. I just took the standard. Let's go back here. On. No. Yeah. This template here. Wonder if I see Slack. Yeah, if service is Slack, blah blah blah, it'll send. You can edit this so that way it'll show you whatever you want here. And so if I do Argo CD, let me clear this here. Argo CD app get? No, is it app list? I rarely use the CLI.
Argo CD app man, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's GitOps, so I don't really use the CLI. I just put everything from Git. But
I know.
Get, okay. So let's clear this again. App get, and then it's just the name. No. Unauthenticated. Oh, maybe I should authenticate. Well, there we go.
I hear that helps.
Yeah, my setup script wasn't helping here. Oh, okay. So you're gonna see my setup script because it messed up. Let's try this again. I'm just gonna rerun this. I'm like, why isn't it working? I'm like, oh, okay. There we go. All right. Argo app get.
Your bash orchestration failed.
Yes. Yeah, my bash orchestration did fail. I should have just done it with Argo. So yeah, so here we go. It says sync, so you can do do app sync, and then I think I could just force it. Yeah. And then this here, while that's going, you see that it came again at the 40 mark here. It syncs again. So every time this application syncs, it'll send a notification here. What I haven't done yet, which would be nice to kind of maybe hack at a little bit, is how do we make it send it when something fails? So let's go here. What do we want?
I think you have to put in your little, what was that? The little area with the dot notation, which I love dot notation. Yeah. Right. You have
here we go.
There you go.
Yeah. So uncreated, undeleted. Undeleted. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that one's nice.
Let's test that one out.
Some things should never go away, right? That would be.
Yeah. So let's say let's test this here. So so here, sync. So here, what we want is, I assume, undeleted. Yeah. Would you add another annotation? See that? I don't know. See, I haven't. I'm flying. I'm going rogue here. I haven't.
We're learning together.
Yeah, we're learning together. So let's just do K replace. Let me K replace. So pop quiz to see if anyone in chat knows what's the difference between replace and apply. Does anyone know? Let's see here. Jonathan, I'm gonna ask Johnny. So Johnny, do you know the difference between replace and apply? Why am I not applying it? Let's get that here. Let's see here. Anyone know? Rogue One. Also, they're talking about Rogue One here.
Oh, because you said you were going rogue, and then they said
Oh,
Rogue One.
Rogue One. I thought your poster was still there. So I was
No,
like,
my
maybe
poster's
that's
not
it.
still there. It's just a throwback to last episode. I'll withhold my answer. Apply will try to create a new.
Yeah. So, um,
And
so, so the reason I'm doing replace is because a replace deletes and recreates it. Whereas an apply will try to do a weird merge, and then especially like with objects or even like arrays, in YAML, you get weird, unexpected consequences, right? And so what I want to tell Argo is, I want you to foobar this configuration and replace it. So let's try that, and then that should fire off another thing here.
yes,
Yeah,
there's an immutable field that will
mutable
not
field
apply.
would not apply. Exactly.
Mhm. There's actually, I've seen this happen with install plans actually. So there are
install plans for operators.
Tecton,
Okay.
the Tecton
Yeah.
operator actually. The Tecton operator install plan, between one release and the next, they changed a field. So it used to be immutable and then became mutable. And the method of updating or of using the stall plan was to apply, and it wouldn't work because it couldn't reconcile that field having changed, right? Because it wasn't supposed to be. So you actually did have to recreate in order to fix the issue. That was a real SRE thing that really happened.
Yeah, I remember you telling me the story. You actually, there was like a big outage because of it.
It was very frustrating because it took me. And I'm getting alerts for the managed workloads because what's happened is the process attempting to upgrade the Tecton operator, which is called OLM, was chewing through, it was filling up etcd, chewing through all the CPU available on the cluster because it could not reconcile the situation. It kept repeatedly trying forever. And the API server went down. So I'm getting alerts about the API server. The customer is complaining they can't access their cluster. Like, that's not a good situation, right? So we figure that out. We do the thing. It wasn't even in the managed, this is a community operator. It wasn't even one of the managed operators. So we had to go into a namespace we don't ordinarily touch and fix the problem. And so I was actually, this is one of Hillary's super secret open source contributions, is I went and I talked to the Tecton team and I was like, can you fix that?
Yeah,
and they did.
And they did. There you go. Yeah,
they did fix that. By the way, I was like, can you fix that? Because it won't just be my customer's cluster; it will be others as well. Who
it'll be
operator.
Yeah.
And I will say this: the Tecton team, they heard about the incident. They were like super. I only have good things to say about the way they responded to that situation, about like taking in the feedback, immediately responding, immediately prioritizing, and trying to make sure that the Tecton users were going to have only the best experiences. Yeah.
Awesome. That is very topical story because of the replace and apply. I like this. Yes. And Waleed said, keep sharing these stories, right? So that's why I thought Hillary would be perfect for this stream, because she like lives this stuff. It's not like a lot of times, and Andrew can attest to this, being in the BU, a lot of the times it feels like we're just on the soapbox pontificating. So it's nice to have someone who's like, yeah, no, I'm living and breathing this stuff. So
I had to write that RCA, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, root cause analysis. I have mutable field became immutable, and all hell broke loose. So
it's
here,
the reverse of it, but yeah, exactly.
The notification came through, so that's cool. Let's try deleting the app, right? So let's do k get app, and then it's okay delete. I wonder what on delete. So I wonder if I delete the app or if I delete. Let's just try deleting the app. How about that?
Let's find out the hard way. I hate RCAs. No, RCAs are amazing. I love RCAs. Why do you hate RCAs? You and I have to talk about this. That's a problem. Yes. You should never hate an RCA.
Yes, you should never hate an RCA. So let's see here. So I'm wondering, because how would it know to fire off? I think I'm misinterpreting the.
Yeah, it's probably something deleted that Argo actually manages.
Let's do. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Let's go to change the self heal to false. Let's do that. because we don't want it to self-heal. So let's go to, this time I'll do an apply. Apply will create it too if it doesn't exist. That's another thing about apply.
Yeah, which is nice.
So let's do, that should have, fired off another one. That little red line tells me. And then let's do get pods.
Yes, we have to add timestamps, but we have a very shiny feature that audits everything we do on the cluster. So that's a copy pasta exercise.
Oh, there you go. A copy pasta from Stack Overflow. So we got here get pods. So that's running. Let's do. So then what I did have here, so it said on deleted, right? So how do we? I guess just delete the namespace.
Yeah, delete GitOps happy hour, right? Because that's the object.
Oh, the namespace of the applications created here. So I did that, and that should okay. So that's the sync. Okay.
I think you have to actually delete the GitOps happy hour thing because that's the thing you've defined in your.
Oh, here we go. Oh, it messed up though. It said, wait, sync operation. It said out of sync somewhere. No value. Successfully synced. Out of sync. Sync status. Right now it's out of sync.
Okay.
So it sent a notification when it's out of sync, but it says.
Oh, look at your config. What did we tell this thing to do?
Yeah. So here, so it is out of sync. So let's look at the config here. It says subscribe on deleted Slack. GitOps happy hour. Yeah, is it on delete when Argo CD deletes it? Well, it says out of sync, and it did send a notification. It's just not the notification we wanted.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
That's the bonus. Well, at least you got notified.
Yeah.
See here. What did we do wrong here? Notification.
Oh right, yeah, that's right. Slack that's the Slack name in that thing. I don't expect that to be the Slack channel name when I read it.
Oh, this right here, the Slack channel.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be a Slack channel name. It's not natural to me to expect that. I'm expecting it to be like okay, we're going to do this when we do to this thing, right? Just because of the way it reads. But yes, obviously, duh. You explained that earlier. I'm just not awake.
You're just not,
I'm just not awake.
You need the Postmate coffee.
I need that Postmated coffee. Yeah, I do
right.
exactly. RCA is a company. Yes, it is.
It is a company. RCA. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said try doing on sync failed. Then we would have to. How would I? Okay. I mean, we could. I just don't know how to.
Where are the links to these documents? Let's go pull this up too. We're learning together. I love learning together. I hate learning alone. I'm not good at it.
Do that on sync failed. Let's do prune equals false as well. So
see on delete when Argo CD deletes it. I would have thought.
Yeah, I would have thought that as well.
What is it? Argo CD notifications docs. That's what I'm googling.
Yeah. On failed. Okay. And so then
I'm like trying to look at your thing, subscriptions, to figure out how to catch up.
Status is synced. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How would I? I think it's like the config map. I have to. So let's look for. Oops. Slack. Let's do Slack. It's was that R2?
No, it's a chocobo. My text notification. Sorry, my ringer is apparently on. I usually turn it off during work hours. So my ringer is off. That's a prioritized contact who gets to bypass all silences. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yes. My text message chime is a chocobo chirp from Final Fantasy, and awesome. My ringtone is the Axel theme from Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's pretty cool.
So how nerd is Hillary? Like, let's just like
Pretty-
rank this from, maybe Omega
Here.
to Alpha, and I guess it's Alpha, right?
That gets its alpha. That's right. Unlike Johnny. So
Unlike
so
That's never going
here-
away. That joke.
That's
will live
that's
forever.
never going away. So it says here, it says white check mark. It says exclamation for is unknown. Got out of you out. I think it's like in this config map that we have to set. I just don't know. White check mark is now running version blah blah blah.
The hard thing about trying to speed read for the piece that you missed in this situation is that everything is like wall of text. Have you seen that there's this thing that went around, it's like called like bionic typesetting or whatever? It's like the first 3 letters of every word are bolded to help your brain continue to work through.
Actually, yeah. I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. That actually works really well. I love that. I think technical documentation should implement that because it really can get like eyes glaze over. What did I just read?
Yeah, it's just like a wall of text, and you're just
I was trying to figure out a way to programmatically do this to my documentation the other day. I was like, I could probably write a script that does this. I'll do it in Perl.
Yeah, I'll do it in Perl, and it'll accidentally work.
It'll accidentally work. But that is the thing. Like Perl slurp. Already, that's the first half of the script, right? Just ingest all the stuff.
Yeah, do everything. So here it says synced.
And then the rest is regex.
And the rest is just regex. My regex makes more sense than you do. Talk about a nerd burn. See, synced. It should be an out of sync pretty soon, I would think.
I don't know. I've lost it at this point. Now I'm trying to read this docs and catch up.
Yeah, it's hard to read because it's a green exclamation point.
Yeah.
So it's like a green mark. So that isn't helpful at all.
Examples, customize. Oh, did you see this thing with customize and Argo CD notifications? That's cool.
No, actually. Interesting.
It's in the troubleshooting section of the docs.
Maybe I should look at the troubleshooting section.
Yeah, that's what I went to.
Troubleshooting.
And then I found customize on accident. I was like, whoa, nice. Config map path file containing Argo CD notifications. Config map, if not specified, the command loads Argo's notifications. Blah, blah, blah. Path to the secret. Great. Okay.
This triggers.
Some examples. Okay.
I didn't even know there was a CLI. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do I have it on? Maybe Argo CD. No, I just have autopilot.
I do like Jeffrey's theory. I think he's right. Since we're manually deleting the app, the on deleted won't fire since Argo syncs it back. So it fires on sync instead.
Never delete itself or on deleted won't fire. Oh, interesting. But so let me replace this here. Do it again.
That might be why the out of sync fired instead. Is that exact theory?
Oh. Manually delete the app, the on deleted won't fire. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So if it fires on sync fires, Argo never do the same. Yeah, that does make sense.
It does. That tracks. The logic checks out.
Won't fire. Okay. I wonder, what if I just do this? Let me comment that off and then do a replace. And then let's do get app Argo CD. So synced. All right, beautiful. Welcome. And show YAML, see what is so I only have on deleted. All right, that tracks. All right, where do we have, where's my, there it is. So it's out of sync. It's interesting that, but whatever. It bugs me, but because I don't know what's wrong. Let's do an app sync.
Oh, I just found this. There was a question earlier about PagerDuty, right? So Argo CD notifications controller serves Prometheus metrics on port 9001. So if it serves Prometheus metrics, then your alert manager can scrape it and it can do PagerDuty integrations that way.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I did not find the answer to what you're trying to do here. Truthfully, you've lost me, but I found that.
Yeah. I want to see.
Oh, the web terminal operator. That we showed that off yesterday on Ask an OpenShift admin. Yes, if we had the web terminal operator installed, we could have looked at the things.
All the things. Okay.
All the things.
All the things. So let's delete the namespace here and see if it fires. I wonder if you want to subscribe. So what I didn't find, and maybe I should we should look at here about the number of subscriptions, right? So so here subscriptions.
Channels notifications.
A semicolon separated list of recipients. Okay, so you can do multiple channels.
That's neat.
Multiple channels in Slack. For all application Argo CD by adding the same annotation to app project CRD. Okay. Oh, okay. So you can do it for all your applications, and you only need to annotate the app project that it lives under. I'm just wondering if you can have more than one notification set up here. So I deleted the.
You have to be able to have more than one notification, surely.
Oh, surely, yeah. Like I'd be surprised if it didn't. I'd be surprised and mad if they didn't. So health status is missing out of sync. Okay, so then let's. Or the actual Git. Let's try this. Okay, delete. Oops. Delete app. Let's delete. And let's just see if something fires. I don't think so, because the annotation is on the object that we're deleting. So how does Argo know? And it didn't send a notification. Okay. So we only got on sync work. So we got one thing to work. So that's cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try. I know we're on top of the hour. I'm gonna try. I think one more thing here.
So hang on. There's a definition. Nope, that's not helpful. That's not what I wanted from you. Documentation.
So here I have on sync succeeded.
We'll have to follow up on Twitter. We'll have to figure this out and follow up on Twitter. Be like, oh my god, we figured it out. Look at how great we are.
Yeah, look how awesome we are. Let's do.
It took us 40 minutes, but we did it.
But we did it. I've done that before where
we should.
Yeah, where it's like, I finally figured it out, and check it out on Twitter.
Yep. It's something silly. We're just not seeing it because of the
shoulder surfing thing.
Shoulder surfing, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like trying to type when it's really important and people can see your screen. I can't type with an audience. My typing is just garbage with an audience. By myself, though, I'm like nonstop.
Yeah, like you're flying, right? So
yeah.
Okay, so let's do here and let's do sync. Where's the sync? Sync happened. That shouldn't have said anything. All right, cool. Let's delete namespace, and let's just see if this fires off something else. I'm trying something else for the last ditch thing. Yeah.
Sure, the last stream can't end until it's done and committed, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly it. I'm trying to make things up
forever.
That's right, because it'll take me forever to figure this out. Okay, so I have successfully got it to notify you when it's successful, but it looks like there might be. So, like, if I do status, no, not status, list. Yeah, out of sync. It is out of sync. Health is missing. It didn't send anything. So this will have to be a Twitter update afterwards, because we're at the top of the hour and I have run out of ideas. So
I don't know. It's one of those things that the documentation's not helping me a whole lot here. I'm like, I need, like, what what thing are you expecting? I clearly like there's something I'm not passing you that you are expecting to see in order to do the thing I want.
Yeah.
But you're not telling me what you want, so I can't give it to you. That's where we're at with this.
Yeah. So then it's
So the question is, why is your app out of sync with Argo right now?
Why is it out of sync? Because I deleted the namespace, and so Argo, I basically deleted all the object Argo's keeping track of, and so that's why Argo said it's out of sync, it's missing, because that's right, I deleted it. So I was trying to force an error here. So cool.
Yeah, I really would have thought if you deleted the namespace that Argo's looking at and it's not there, that Argo would be like, your namespace is gone. But I guess
exactly.
It would just know it's gone, not that it was deleted per se.
Yeah, but if I delete the object.
Okay, so what else can you delete in Argo? Let's not looking at the screen. What all things can you delete in Argo?
Good to see here.
Or delete that Argo would be watching.
Yeah, so I could. So William did say like if like I removed. Maybe if like the repo wasn't there, the Git repo, that could be like it as well. But I'm not going to do that. I mean, I guess I have a local copy. I guess it doesn't matter. But it's just a dumb app, anyways. But I'm trying to think. I think it really has to do with the configuration on the config map. There's just something that maybe I need to add, or something that you need to add, which is why. Good documentation is important. I think if I looked at the app health degraded portion of documentation, I could probably figure that out. But me sitting here in silence reading by myself isn't. I mean, it might be interesting to people.
Might be everybody's idea of a good time. It's
exactly
my idea of a good time.
I
will say I'm actually on the pager. So if you've seen me pick up my phone every now and again, there's a certain chime that means something has happened on certain work channels. And I'm double checking to make sure they're not the ones I get paged for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So real life. So it's like SRE camera, right? SRE SRE vision. What is the day in the life of SRE is? Like looking down on the phone, making sure you're
I have to keep that thing on me. I can't be more than 15 minutes away from my computer at any given time during my on-call shift. So nights and weekends mean that my phone it does go into silence. PagerDuty can bypass my silences, and the ringer is turned all the way up.
That's right.
I will say I've only been paged at a weird time one time. It was 1 a.m. on a Saturday.
Was it the Tecton thing?
It was not the Tecton thing. That was terrible, though. The Tecton thing happened at like 4 p.m. West Coast time on a Friday while I was trying to leave for vacation. And I was actually not on call anymore. But what happened is the person who was on call was in Ireland. So it was the middle of their night and it was still technically my work hours. So I was trying to take it over before the pager woke them up for no reason. Because I already knew what was wrong and why it would page.
Yeah.
It didn't. I was unsuccessful, by the way. The pager woke him up and he got in and fixed it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What? All right.
I wasn't fast on PagerDuty.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to you're too slow on the draw here. So
yeah.
So I don't think there's no other questions. I would say that now that Argo CD notifications is part of Argo CD, you can go and set that up for for PagerDuty, I guess, and you could be like Hillary and be woken up in the middle of the night when your application's out of sync, or just for basic metrics, right? You can set it up for basic metrics there. So
that's true. Your PagerDuty stuff does not actually have to wake anybody up. You can just have it exist. Or like I said, I saw that it sets the Prometheus serves Prometheus metrics, so you can do things with those Prometheus metrics. So that's always exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because like certain notifications isn't as simple as on or off or black and white. Like it has to be like threshold, right? Like if it's within a certain threshold for a certain amount of time, then send me the notification. Mm-hmm. Versus like if it's something's like flapping on and off, like okay. Maybe send me an email, but don't wake me up for that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where you have to make your best judgment based on your software, right? Sometimes if an alert is flapping, that is the biggest sign that something very, very terrible has happened. If etcd is full on your cluster, alerts
You're gonna have
will
a bad
flap.
time.
You're
Yeah.
That's
You're
one
gonna
of
have
the
a
things
bad
you'll see
time.
the flapping of the alerts,
Yeah.
right? So and as the API server comes on and off as well. So yeah, honestly, I would rather be woken up for something flapping than for something happening once.
Oh, something you can prevent. That's very true. That's a good point. I'll amend that because like I would rather be woken up with something that I can fix right away and go back to sleep than be woken up and then just having to stay up because it's foobar.
Yeah, it's foobar.
It's definitely foobar. All right. So it's been again, it's been a pleasure to be on the stream, to be your captain, I guess, in this guide. But you're in good hands with Hillary. She said yes, she's continuing the show and she's gonna actually have some pretty good ideas. We're actually spitballing some ideas. So this is my last stream as a host, but I will come back as a co-host. I'm threatening as a threat. I don't know what you call
Not
that.
as a co-host. You're coming back as a guest.
As a guest. I'm coming back as a guest. I'll be a guest when I come back next. But it's bittersweet. I love I love doing this. I'm not be going far. Check out my Twitter or my my LinkedIn if you're following me there to see where I'm ending up. Not too far away. So I'll still be in the GitOps space. You can follow me there. I'll still always a red hatter. I'm keeping my red hat, right? That's not going away.
Spoilers. GitOps Guide Ezra. Yeah. Yes, actually, dude. Right, you can just come on. We'll do it together. It'll be great. Since
there you go, William.
You must know exactly what I'm going to say as well.
So they say once a red hatter, always a red hatter. It's bittersweet, but exciting things are coming up. So I don't know if you have anything else, Hillary, to say. Do you want to see us out? Do you want to end the show on your quote now? Since I've always ended it on my quote.
Oh man, I'm not sure if it's. Let's have you one last time.
One last time to see me up.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you the situation with GitOps, right? Just like I always say, unless it's in Git, it's only a rumor. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Cheers.